everyone, my name is Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. So if you remember in last week's video I said this, and that he might not be able to sing again, similar to that Hannah Montana episode, but we're not going to talk about that. And so this week we're going to talk about it. And so I was actually thinking that this would be a great idea for a series, because I find that this happens a lot of times in Disney Channel shows, because oftentimes they pick plot lines that are kind of generic and we've kind of seen happen before. And so sometimes you'll be watching one show and be like, hey, I kind of remember this happening in another show. And so if there are any other shows that you kind of remember from Disney Channel where it's like, this is kind of the exact same plot line as another show, leave it in the comments down below and maybe I'll do it in my next video. So I figure we'll talk about the Hannah Montana episode first, then we'll talk about Austin and Ally, and then we'll compare both of them to find out which one is possibly the better episode. So with all that being said, let's just jump right into it. The Hannah Montana episode starts with Miley losing her voice after doing 6 encores at a Hannah Montana concert. So her dad says, don't worry about it, this used to happen to me all the time when I was performing. All they gotta do is have you not talk for a week and then your voice should be healed up enough for you to perform for your next concert. So she does this, hilarity ensues, but then her voice does not come back when she's performing. So they meet with a doctor and she finds out that she has to get this surgery done. So obviously Miley becomes really worried that her voice is not going to be the same as it used to be and nobody's going to like her anymore. She has this whole dream where she basically becomes Cinderella and it's this big thing, but then her mom actually shows up in her dream, talks her down and explains to her that even if her voice does change, not being Hannah Montana doesn't change who she is as a person. Then the episode ends with another dream, but this time of her dad's perspective, of Miley singing with her mom the first time after the surgery, and it's assumed that the surgery went well and everything is good. So some of the things I like about this episode is I think that Miley and Dad's talk is done really well. I like the introduce of the local hot cocoa, which they end up using throughout the series. I like how they use that here, and the whole idea of it creating these weird dreams that everybody's having. And I really like that this is the first episode that we see her mom, because before that in the series she's kind of just been a mystery as to who she was or like what she means for Miley. And so it was really nice to see that scene with them together, and I actually get a bit emotional seeing it because Miley and her mom have like a really strong connection and you can really tell with the chemistry that the two characters have. The only thing is the episode does kind of end really fast. Now I like that we do get to see Miley sing for the first time with her mom, but it's not real, it's only in a dream. So I would have liked to see how she felt in real life after the surgery ended. I think that that would have made the episode a lot better. But moving on to Austin and Ally, so Austin has a shot at getting a record deal. So he goes and records a demo with Ally and everybody else, and then he's practicing all night, and all this practicing ends up straining his voice and he can't hit the high notes. So he goes to the doctor, he finds out that he does have some sort of vocal issues and that he needs to get the same surgery that Miley had to get. So he does the surgery, everything seems to be okay, but he does have to rest his voice for 48 hours. Unfortunately, then Jimmy Star comes and says he's got something else going on, so he needs the demo now, but they haven't had time to record the demo because of Austin's voice, but Austin's just like, know what? No, I'm just gonna sing it right now, even though the 48 hours aren't up. So everybody's really nervous, but he does the performance, he sings the way that you do, and it's amazing, and he gets his record deal, obviously because we all know that he is with Star Records. So what I really like about this episode is mainly the way that you do. As you guys know, it's one of my favorite songs from the show, and I think it was performed really nicely, and I just felt like the stakes were really high in this episode. Hannah and Austin are at very different places in their careers. Hannah's is already kind of developed and she's kind of already made a name for herself, whereas Austin's kind of been an online sensation, but he hasn't really hit the next level yet, and he needs a record deal to get there. I also think it just made a lot more sense in Austin and Ally for him to have to rest his voice after the fact. I get why it was done in Hannah Montana. It was kind of more of the focus of the episode was Miley's silent period where she wasn't speaking, but I felt like it made more sense to have him be silent after the surgery. So there were some like direct similarities from Hannah Montana in Austin and Ally that I noticed that I thought were pretty funny. There's the one joke that Ally says where she's like, that must be so hard, like not talking, and she keeps talking and talking and talking. And then there's a similar situation with Oliver where he's like, oh, girls just never stop talking, and then he keeps talking and talking and talking. And then there's the situation where Miley likes this guy and Oliver's like, don't worry, I'll take over, and then he ruins the whole thing. And then there's the same situation with Austin where he likes this girl and Trish is like, don't worry, I'll take over, but then she ruins the whole thing. It was just really fun, and it was interesting to see it done both times in both episodes. So I would say the main differences between the two episodes was that in Austin and Ally the focus was definitely on getting the record deal, whereas in Hannah Montana the focus was more on her losing her voice and what that would mean and how her career could be over. So whereas Austin, it was at the start of his career, whereas Hannah's, it could have possibly been at the end of her career. So in conclusion, I think I actually prefer the Austin and Ally episode better, which I didn't think I would. I grew up with Hannah Montana, so I thought I would be more biased to that show, but watching them back to back, I think that the Austin and Ally episode was way more structured than the Hannah Montana one. It just felt like the stakes were a lot higher and there was more importance placed on Austin getting his voice back. There was also more of a conclusion in Austin and Ally, like when he got his voice back, that meant that he could get a record deal, whereas Hannah got her voice back, but we don't really get to see her getting her voice back, at least not in real life. Overall, it was really fun for me to watch both episodes back to back. Going in, I thought they would be a lot more similar than they were. And it also reminds me, Liv and Maddie did a similar story as well, where Liv is losing her voice and she has to get the same surgery, but it is done in a two-parter episode. That's why I didn't compare it here, because they had a lot more room to tell their story than Austin and Ally and Hannah Montana did, because they only have 20 minutes, whereas Liv and Maddie had 40 minutes, and it was a lot different than these two. I felt like these two were a lot closer in storylines than that one, so it just didn't really fit to me. But overall, this is really fun for me. I would love to do more. So don't forget to leave in the comments down below if there's any other shows that you remember having very similar plot lines. I cannot wait to read all about it. Anyways, guys, my name is Caitlin. You can follow me everywhere at Kate Loves Disney. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell notification because I post new videos all about Disney Channel every single week. That is all I have to say for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.